Self-determination is a core principle of international law. Greenland is a semi-autonomous territory of the Kingdom of Denmark. Under the 2009 Greenland Self-Government Act, Greenlanders have control over most domestic matters and a clear legal pathway to full independence if they choose to pursue it in a referendum. The Act recognizes Greenlanders as a distinct people under international law and gives them authority over natural resources and internal affairs. Only the people of Greenland, not external powers, have the legitimate right to decide if independence is desirable and feasible. International norms and treaties make clear that sovereign decisions about territory must be made by the inhabitants of that territory or through lawful processes agreed with its current sovereign state. Denmark and Greenland repeatedly stress this point. Greenland's unique culture and identity. Greenland has a population of about 57,000, predominantly Kalaaleq, indigenous Greenlanders. Over generations, Greenland has developed its own language, cultural practices, and political priorities. Autonomy has fostered a growing sense that Greenlanders should define their own destiny rather than have it dictated by distant capitals. Politically, polls and statements from leaders show that while many Greenlanders are interested in independence from Denmark, they strongly reject becoming part of another external power. Historical and ethical context. Greenland was a Danish colony until 1953, and many Greenlanders and observers argue that historical policies, including forced social experiments and discriminatory treatment, have left legacies that still affect trust in external governance. As a result, political momentum inside Greenland increasingly favors self-rule and eventual independence on terms chosen by Greenlanders themselves. Allowing external powers to dictate the future of Greenland, whether through pressure, economic leverage, or geopolitical deals, would undermine this long-standing aspiration. Denmark's sovereignty and international law. Denmark is Greenland's sovereign state under international law. Danish leaders emphasize that Greenland is not for sale and foreign powers cannot simply acquire it, whether through purchase, coercion, or threats. In recent months, Denmark's Prime Minister has publicly rebuked external claims and highlighted that such talk damages alliances and violates basic principles of sovereignty. Why Donald Trump has focused on Greenland. Over recent years and especially since returning to office, US President Donald Trump has repeatedly brought attention to Greenland in ways that have raised eyebrows in Europe and within Greenland itself. Here's why. Strategic geographic importance. Greenland sits in the Arctic, a region of growing strategic significance as climate change opens sea lanes and increases competition over resources. Its location offers key positions for missile defense and aerospace monitoring over the Arctic. Military and intelligence advantages given proximity to Russia and the Arctic's expanding geopolitical relevance. Trump and his advisors describe Greenland as essential for US national security and suggest that the US should control it to counter rival powers' influence. Natural resources. Greenland has rich reserves of untapped minerals, rare earth elements, oil, and gas, resources important for global supply chains and emerging technologies, e.g., batteries, wind turbines. Control over such resources would have both economic and strategic implications, especially as demand grows amid global shifts toward green technologies. Domestic political messaging. Some analysts argue that Trump's repeated calls regarding Greenland, ranging from buying it, urging its leaders to consider joining the US, to refusing to rule out force, are partly domestic rhetoric aimed at projecting strength, appealing to nationalist themes, or distinguishing his foreign policy approach. Statements often tie Greenland's importance to American security and prosperity. However, critics highlight that such rhetoric can dangerously oversimplify or misrepresent the realities of Greenland's wishes and international law. International and diplomatic impacts. Trump's words have not only alarmed Denmark and Greenland, but also triggered broader diplomatic pushback. Danish, Nordic, and EU leaders have reaffirmed support for Greenland and Denmark's right to self-determination, and warned that threats or coercion risk undermining alliances like NATO. Polling indicates an overwhelming majority of Greenlanders do not want to become part of the United States, reinforcing that U.S. strategic messaging does not reflect local preferences. Conclusion: respecting sovereignty and self-determination. The most compelling reasons why Greenland and Denmark should decide their own futures are rooted in international law and recognized rights of people to self-rule. Greenlanders' cultural identity and political aspirations. Denmark's sovereign authority and legal frameworks. Ethical principles condemning territorial conquest or acquisition without consent. Meanwhile, Trump's interest in Greenland, framed in terms of security, resources, and geopolitical leverage, highlights the growing global strategic importance of the Arctic region. But nearly all credible sources from Greenland and Denmark emphasize that any change in Greenland's status must be determined by Greenlanders themselves and through lawful negotiation, not by unilateral action from external powers.